Hello everyone, I am Dr. Chitra, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, Srimad Andavan Arts and Science College. Welcome back to the another session of mine. So in today's video lecture, we will be learning about preconception and prenatal diagnostic techniques, prohibition of sex selection, Act 1994, and also the rules 1996. So the objectives of this act is to prohibit sex selection before or after conception, regulate prenatal diagnostic techniques for detecting genetic or metabolic disorders or chromosomal abnormalities of certain uh, congenital malformations or sex-linked disorders. So the objective of this law is also to prevent misuse of such techniques for the purpose of sex determination of female feticide. So Genetic Counseling Center is one of the topic that is being covered under this act. So according to section 2 of C, it means the Genetic Counseling Center means institute, hospital, nursing home, or any place which provide genetic counseling to the patients is considered as Genetic Counseling Center according to this act. According to the act, genetic clinic, which means a clinic, institute, hospital, nursing home, or any place which is used for conducting prenatal diagnostic procedures, is considered as genetic clinic according to section 2D of this act. So genetic clinic includes a vehicle where ultrasound machine or imaging machine or a scanner or other equipment or portable equipment is used for detection of sex during pregnancy or selection of sex before conception is considered as genetic clinic function. So genetic laboratory according to section 2C, it means laboratory which includes a place where facilities are provided for conducting analysis or test of samples received from genetic clinics for prenatal diagnostic test. So the test includes a place where ultrasound machine, imaging machine, scanner, other equipment, portable equipment is used for detection of sex during pregnancy or selection of sex before conception. Prenatal diagnostic procedure. So according to section prenatal diagnostic procedure, according to this act, internally gynecological, so prenatal diagnostic procedure. So according to this act, it means all gynecological or obstetrical or medical procedures like ultrasound, use of ultrasound sonography, then fetoscopy, taking or removing samples of amniotic fluid, chronic villi, blood, any tissue or fluid is considered as prenatal diagnostic procedure. So prenatal diagnostic techniques according to this act, it means ultrasonography test or analysis of amniotic fluid, chronic villi, blood, any tissue, fluid of any pregnant women, or conceptus conducted to detect genetic disorders, metabolic disorders, chromosomal abnormalities, congenital anomalies, hematoglobinosis, and sex-linked diseases. Sex selection. Sex selection includes a procedure, techniques, test, administration, prescription, provision for the procedures of ensuring or increasing the probability that an embryo will be of a particular sex is sex selection according to this act. So regulating of a genetic counseling clinic, genetic laboratories and genetic clinics. So unless registered, can conduct or associate or help in conducting activities related to prenatal diagnostic techniques. So all these three centers clinics, counseling centers and genetic laboratories, they have to register with the concerned authority to carry out or to help in conducting activities relating to prenatal diagnostic techniques, and can employ or take services of any person, honorary or payment, who does not possess qualifications. So this apart from registering themselves with the particular authority, they can have workers who are eligible to conduct all these procedures. All prenatal diagnostic procedures has to be conducted by a trained and certified individuals, and those individuals who can do such procedures are prescribed in this act. So when to conduct this prenatal diagnostic techniques. So this prenatal diagnostic techniques or test can be conducted for the detection of chromosomal abnormalities, genetic metabolic diseases, then sex-linked genetic diseases, inborn anomalies, other defects, diseases specified by the Central Supervisory Board. So techniques can be used or conducted only when any of the following conditions exist. So pregnant women is above 35 years, then pregnant women has undergone 2 or more spontaneous abortions or fetal loss. Pregnant women has been exposed to potentially toxic agents, then radiations, infections or chemicals. Pregnant women or her spouse has a family history of mental retardation, physical deformities such as spasticity or any other genetic disease, any other condition specified by Central Supervisory Board. So based on this prenatal diagnostic test can be carried out. So it is mandatory that the person conducting ultrasonography on a pregnant woman to keep complete record in the clinic. Any deficiency or inaccuracy found in the records will amount to contravention section 5 or section 6 of this act. So all they have to keep register of all the activities that being done. So when the women have come, who has referred, who have conducted the test, for what the test is being recommended, and so on. So these detail has to be maintained by the clinic, laboratory or centers. So according to section 5, no person will conduct the prenatal diagnostic procedures unless explained all known side and other side effects, that the procedure to the pregnant woman, obtained her written consent to undergo the procedures in the language she understand, then copy of her written consent is given to the pregnant women. So the consent has to be getting duplicate, so that one can be retained with the center, clinic or laboratory, and then other copy will be handed over to the women. So with the consent of the women, the center, the clinic or the laboratory has to explain completely about the side effects or the after effects of the procedures that will be done on her. So written consent will be taken as provided in Form G. So the consent that has to be obtained from the pregnant woman should be in Form G. So according to rule, any person conducting ultrasonography image scanning on a pregnant woman will give a declaration on each report that he or she has neither detected nor disclosed the sex fetus to anybody. The pregnant woman, before undergoing ultrasonography or image scanning, must declare that she does not want to know the sex of the fetus. So this should be included in the consent form, that is Form G. So conditions for analysis or test of prenatal diagnostic procedures is given under Rule 14, where the conditions are like: genetic laboratory can conduct analysis or test of any sample only when referred by genetic clinic. So laboratory can carry out the procedures only with the recommendation from the genetic clinic. And before every prenatal diagnostic procedure, through ultrasonography, the fetus and the placenta has to be located. The prenatal diagnostic procedure has to be done under direct ultrasonographic monitoring to prevent any damage to the fetus and placenta. So these condition has to be fulfilled by the genetic laboratory and the genetic clinic. So what are the prohibitions? Prohibitions, there are prohibitions on places, prohibitions on the persons who is going to do, the person who is recommending, or the on doctors, on the places. So there are prohibitions. So on places, which section 6 deals with. So no genetic counseling center or clinic or laboratory will conduct prenatal diagnostic techniques including an ultrasonography for the purpose of determining the sex of the fetus. According to Rule 17, every genetic counseling center or clinic or laboratory is required to display prominently a notice in English and in the local language or languages that conduct of sex determination, test or disclosure of sex of the fetus is prohibited. According to section 19, registration certificate has to be predominantly displayed. So these has to be done on the places. So three things. One is the certification, license certificate has to be displayed predominantly in the clinic or the laboratory or the center. And the second one is they have to display that disclosure or any procedures that will reveal the sex of the fetus will not be encouraged in this center. Then third is conducting prenatal diagnostic technique including an ultrasonography. It's not for the purpose of determining the sex of the fetus. On persons, so it deals, section 18 deals with on persons. So no person will open any genetic counseling center, clinic or laboratory, including clinic, laboratory or center having ultrasound or imaging machine or scanner or any other technology capable of undertaking determination of sex of fetus and sex selection unless such a center, clinic or laboratory is duly registered separately or jointly. So this person render any service to any facility unless such a facility is duly registered. So the person who is willing to serve the centers or laboratory or clinic, he has to ensure that those centers are duly registered with the concerned authority. So as per section 4, no person including a relative or husband of the pregnant woman will seek or encourage the conduct of any prenatal diagnostic techniques on her except for medical reasons. So this they should make ensure. Then as per section 4(5), no person including a relation or husband of the pregnant woman will seek or encourage the conduct of any sex selection technique on her or on him or both. As per section 6(b), no person will conduct or cause to be conducted any prenatal diagnostic technique including ultrasonography for the purpose of sex determination. So in all the classes, in all the sections, it is clearly stated that no procedures or no person should recommend, or in one way or in another way, in one form in another form, determination of the sex or disclosing of the sex of the fetus is completely prohibited. It is purely viewed as a violation of law. So, as per section 3A, no person, including a specialist or a team of specialists in the field of infertility, will conduct or aid in conducting by himself or by other person sex selection on a woman or a man, or both, on both or on any tissue, embryo, fluid or gametes derived from either of them or both of them. As per Rule 3B, no person shall sell any ultrasound machine or imaging machine or scanner or any other equipment capable of detecting sex of a fetus to any genetic counseling center, laboratory or clinic, or any other person not registered under the Act. So the Act is made very it's done with very cautious, that in no or other way the sex of the fetus will be not be relieved to any of the person, either to the husband or to the wife. So the section 3A talks about no person or a team will insist on doing the selection of the or determination of the sex of the child. And Rule 3 talks about the selling of any machines that will determine the sex of the fetus. No person, including the person conducting prenatal diagnostic procedure, will communicate to the pregnant woman or her relatives or any other person the sex of the fetus by words, signs, or any other manner. So even after doing scanning, he should not smile, so that it will reveal that the sex of the child is a boy. Okay, so the Act says, the Act is made it very clear that the person who is conducting the procedures, prenatal diagnostic procedures, should not reveal to the women or to the husband or to the relatives or to any other person regarding the sex of the fetus by word, by sign, or by any other manner. So prohibitions of advertisement. So no person, organization, genetic counseling center, laboratory or clinic, including clinic, laboratory or center having ultrasound machine or imaging machine or scanner or any other technology capable of undertaking determination of sex of the fetus or sex selection, will issue, publish, distribute, or communicate any advertisement in any form, including internet, regarding facilities of prenatal determination of sex or sex selection before conception available at any such centers, laboratory, clinic, or any other places. So prohibition is also on, not only on person, places, or also on the procedures, but it is also on the marketing. So no clinic, laboratory, or centers, or hospitals, institutes are not permitted to do any advertisement regarding the availability of the machines or the availability of advanced technology, so that the sex of the fetus will be known. No person, organization, including genetic counseling center, laboratory, or clinic, will issue, publish, or distribute communicate any advertisement regarding prenatal diagnostic, prenatal determination or preconception, sex selection by any means whatsoever it is scientific. As per section 3b under rule 3a, no person will sell, distribute, supply, rent or allow the use of any machines. So it is again being noted in the rule apart from the act. The offenses, what is being for offenses under this act for persons. If any person act contrary to the prohibition listed in this act, he will be liable to be punished with up to 3 years of imprisonment and up to fine of rupees 10,000. Any subsequent convictions will entail up to 5 years of imprisonment and up to 50,000 of fine for the person. In case of a person seeking the aid of the body or person referred to above for sex selection or for conducting prenatal diagnostic techniques on any pregnant women for the purpose other than those specified in the section of this act, he shall be liable to the will be liable to punish with imprisonment up to 3 years and a fine of rupees 50,000. Any subsequent conviction will make him to pay fine up to rupees 1 lakh and imprisonment which may be extended to 5 years in case of subsequent offenses. In case of a doctor, his name will be reported by the adoption appropriate authority to the state medical council for taking necessary action in case of a doctor. So the appropriate authority will recommend the name to the state medical council, where the state medical council may take actions like suspension of the registration if charges are framed by the court and till the case is disposal, and removal of his or her name from the register of the council on conviction for a period of 5 years for the first offense and permanently for the subsequent offenses. So it is also the same for the doctor. So if a doctor encourages, if the doctor is found guilty of disclosing the sex of the fetus to any to the pregnant woman or to the husband, to the relatives or to any other person, if it is proved, then the doctor, if it is his first offense, then he will be punished for 5 years of suspension of his registration. If he does again, then his registration with the state medical council will be permanently removed. So husband and relatives of the pregnant women, what if they commit that offense? So who undergo a prenatal diagnostic test technique is presumed to have compelled the women to undergo the prenatal diagnostic techniques liable for abatement of offense under section 23(3), punishable for the offense under section 23 of 3. So if any person controversial any provision of the act or the rules where the where no penalty has been specified, he will be liable to be punished with up to 3 months of imprisonment and up to a fine of 10,000 rupees, or in some cases it may be both of 3 month imprisonment and 1,000 rupees of fine. So any subsequent contraventions will have additional fine up to 500 for every day during which such contravention continue after conviction for the first offense. So say for example, after undergoing 3 months of imprisonment, Then if the man does the second offense, if the person commit the second offense after 3 months, then the person has to pay 500 each day for the period of 3 months. So 90 for 90 days he has to pay 500 per day. So in case of offenses by a company, every person in charge, every person responsible to the company for the conduct of the business of the company at the time of offense was committed, the company shall be deemed to be guilty and accordingly proceeded against and punished. So recently in Tamil Nadu we had a issue with a fertility center. So it's like that. So in case of so though the doctor does the whole clinic, the center or the laboratory is held responsible, the authorities, the in charges is held responsible for the offense. So if concerned convenience or that is what attributable to any neglect on the part of director or in relation to a firm, a partner in the firm, manager, secretary, other officer, they shall also be deemed to be guilty and accordingly proceeded against and punished. The court can take cognizance of offense. So according to section 28, court will take cognizance of offense, a complaint made by the upper appropriate authority or any other officer authorized in the behalf by the central government or state government, or the person who has given not less than 15 days notice to the appropriate authority of the alleged offense and his intention to make a complaint to the court. So what level of court can try these offenses? So metropolitan magistrate or a third class judicial magistrate will try the offenses punishable under this law. According to section 47, every offense is cognizable, non-bailable and non-compoundable. I hope I have given a small knowledge sharing with you about the conception and prenatal diagnostic techniques act. Thank you for your time.